Hey gardeners, I'm still planting spring flowering bulbs and I'm going to plant some in some containers. So I thought you might like to come with me. All right, let's take a look. I've got these 3 clay pots I'm planting bulbs in, and it will all be tulips, and in this galvanized stock tank it will be tulips and Spanish bluebells. So I've already started off with some soil here, and I've left about 6 or 7 inches from the top. Anyway, so let's get planting. If you live in zones 3 through 5, then if you want to plant spring bulbs in containers, you need to keep them like in an unheated garage or unheated shed, something like that. But I'm in a zone 6B, so they can stay out for me. I've had bulbs in containers for the last 3 or 4 years, and they've done great. This is called Purple Pride here. And these are, they say that they're a good container variety, blooms mid-spring, and it's a good for cut flowers. So you want to remember to always, you can tell, it's easy to tell with tulips, you plant your pointy side up. So I'm just going to nestle these down here. There are 10 bulbs These here. Aren't exactly the color palette that I have going on here, these orange, because these are purple and a few mixed colors. And these are going to be the pink. These are foxtrot, and the Spanish bluebells are kind of purpley pinky. And I'm out of bulbs. So we're getting close to being out of bulbs. But they're going to coordinate. I'm going to say I did that on purpose, but I really didn't. Now I need to find some for here. Let me see what else I have. Not exactly in my purple and pinky color scheme, but you know, springtime is like all the colors. You can get away with it, right? This is yellow and red, flaming parrot. We talked about if you're in zones 3 through 5, if you want to do bulbs in containers, that you need to put them in an unheated garage or shed. And I would recommend giving them a little bit of water every so often. And then you'd have to bring them out, you know, to the sunlight once the temperatures aren't freezing so deeply. You'd have to bring them out because they're going to need sun in order to start putting on their growth. But if you are in zones 8 through 11, you need to have your bulbs, and you can still have bulbs, but you need to give them a chill period for like 10 to 12 weeks, which would be in a refrigerator. If you had an extra refrigerator, that would be ideal, because then you wouldn't be competing with any kind of fruits or anything, you know, in there, because the fruit can spoil your bulbs, certain gases from the fruits. So we have them all placed. I'm going to bring the camera over and show you. And another reason why it's, you know, nice to plant your bulbs, especially tulips, in containers is that you have control over the deer. If you have a deer problem, like most of us do, you know, they see a tulip and they'll leave the daffodil alone for the most part, but a tulip, they will munch it. It'll just be getting ready to bloom and they will munch. So anyway, then you have control over your containers where you keep them away from the deer. And you can see how they're all nestled in the pots. Now I'm just going to top them off with soil and then about 1 inch of hardwood mulch, and that kind of gives a little bit extra protection. So let's just dump soil on the top. Make sure they're good and covered. I will say that last winter, when I knew we were going to get some snow, I covered, I think I may have used a tarp or something. I covered my containers just so the snow and the ice wouldn't build on there and stay and stay and stay forever. We didn't get very much snow last year. Snow or something. Then you could cover them with a board or something, and then as soon as the snow is done its thing, take the board off, obviously, or take the tarp or whatever. You don't want any mold issues or anything like that going on. Top off a little bit. And this is just regular potting soil here. I will be able to reuse this in the spring because the bulbs won't take up much energy from the soil. I'm going to take my hand and pack it down just a little bit. Anything you do will give a little bit extra anything you do will give a little bit of extra insulation. You can also use leaf mulch, which in one of my other videos, whenever it's coming out, I'm not sure. I make leaf mulch, and it's just grinding up the leaves. I love leaf mulch. It really turns into compost. And you know, the mulch, the hardwood mulch does too eventually, but it takes a lot longer to break down. Okay, I think that's good. Now I'm just going to press, and you can also water then your containers after you plant your bulbs. I'm not going to do that because it is coming on evening time here now, and they're calling for rain tomorrow. If we don't get rain tomorrow, I will throw some water on them. So this is just a shredded, it's actually like a triple shredded hardwood mulch. So I'm just going to put this on. This is a galvanized stock tank. Whoops. This is hollyhock. That, you know, sometimes it takes a couple years for hollyhocks to flower and everything. So I am going to leave them, probably not the best place for them, but they're going to stay. These this is foxtrot and Spanish bluebells here, so it's going to be pretty. I do not really need my power planter, my auger here, but if you go real slow, then it just kind of gets the hole ready for you. Whoops! Normally, you know, when I'm using this in the ground, the ground is so much more compacted than the soil is. This is just regular potting soil in here. And also, I think probably some raised bed soil and some compost mixed. I'm going to go about 7 inches down here with the tulips and about 4 inches with the Spanish bluebells. Oh, these are going to be so pretty. Probably, oh, there's an earthworm. Nice. Good job. You guys, I love my augers. Oh my word, I love them. I use them for everything. You know, if I want to make little trenches, like to plant wildflowers and stuff, so that I don't have to get out the tiller. Because the tiller actually belongs to my son-in-law. I have to go up and say, can I use your tiller? Okay, so then I'm just going to do these about 4 inches, and I'm going to do them with my hand, just randomly. And they're going to come up, you know, obviously at a different height than the tulips. This is called, like, I think they call it a bulb lasagna or something, when you do the different levels of bulbs, you know, the bulbs that are different heights, or planted different depths, I should say. Let's put some over here. These kind of bulbs are fun because they're easy to plant. This one is squishy. It's no good. So that one's going to go, bye. Pack it down. Okay. Oop, I'm dirty, but I'll put mulch on here. This was fun. So thanks for hanging out with me and for stopping by my channel today. And if you have any questions, please be sure, if you're watching this long, which most people don't, but if you are and you have a question, please feel free to ask, or a comment. Please feel free to say it. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Happy gardening and have a great day. We will see you in the next video.